Book Dragons, I am back to do another video. I am here to do my January reading wrap up part 1. So I am very excited to be filming this because I love a wrap up. I love a stat video. I'm very excited. So I have finished reading 10 books in the month of January. I wound up DNFing one and I will chat through that. And I also am going to go through all my stats. I will not be chatting about one book in this video because it is a Martin's Press title and I am observing the strike. I am filming a video like a vlog style whenever I finish books, and hopefully whenever the strike is over I can post it, but I'm not posting it now. So my stats will be a little bit off just because I'm not including that video in this wrap up. It will be seen another one just later whenever the strike is listed, but know that I did read one. So I wound up reading 10 things with one DNF. I read 3,541 pages, which is really, really good for me. Average page count is 114 pages per day, which has been good. I think that has been pretty accurate. Average reading count is 354, and I actually have really increased the length of my books in the past couple of weeks. You'll definitely notice that. YA fantasy was definitely my most read. I read 6 books with reps, 4 from authors I read before. I had 3 5 stars, 6 4 stars, and 1 3 star for an average rating of 4.2, which I think is pretty good. I read 2 new release, 3 backlists, and 5 from last year. Again, I had a lot of carryover books from 2023. We'll talk about those in the first couple of ones that I review. I had 3 physical, 5 audiobook, and 2 ebook, which means I've actually been reading my NetGalley arcs, which is exciting. And I also I started 3 series, I continued in 1, I caught up in 2, I read 5 standalone, and I read 1 companion. And if you want to know where I'm getting all these stats from, it is from Cassidy's spreadsheet. I read 1 physical arc, 1 from the library, 2 from NetGalley, 3 owned, and 1 from Everland. I always have a hard time saying like how I'm gonna categorize it, but I always say like how I read it. But if I do have a physical book, I try to include that as well. And then genre breakdown, I read 1 YA contemporary, 1 mystery, 1 contemporary, 2 YA fantasy, and 2 middle grade fantasy, 1 graphic novel, and 2 romance. So that is very exciting. So yeah, now let's get into the books. I will say the first couple of books were definitely carryovers from 2024. I wanted to kind of start off the year fresh, so I was really finishing a few things. But the first book I read, I'm going to be fully transparent, I finished this on the 31st, but I loved it so much, and it was technically a 2024 book. I just had to include it in my wrap up, the potentiality to be in my top reads of the year for 2024, so that's why I included it here. And it is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boys. I will attach a photo. Was a book that was made for me. Like, you always see people saying like, this book is made for me. This book was made for me. So you basically follow a main character, and her parents have been divorced for a long time, and she's a theater geek, true theater geek. She is my soul sister. And she winds up going off with her friend, and they wind up going somewhere they should not be. And they wind up getting in trouble because they go see the touring productions of Waitress. And she gets caught, and she has to work at her dad's gaming store for the next couple of weeks because her mom doesn't trust her. And she winds up working there. She winds up coming into a little bit of a fake dating relationship with a coworker of hers because her boyfriend dumped her, and she's like, they're coming around. He has a girlfriend, and this girl that he really likes, coming in the store, and he doesn't know how to behave around her. So they kind of strike up this fake dating relationship, which is just so cute. It warms my heart because then they all become friends, and they have a D&D game because it's like a gaming store, and they do a Dungeons and Dragons game, and she is making it her life mission to get her drama club back to fit and fighting shape. The drama teacher has left, and they don't have drama teachers, so they're not going to do a musical this year, and it is heartwarming. It is really heartwarming. I teared up at the end, and I just was like, oh my goodness, I have to talk about this book. So I gave it 5 stars. It is a YA contemporary, but it really worked for me. I gave it 5 stars. I'm so happy that I picked it up. Actually, I was on a blog tour for it, so it kind of forced me a little bit, but very happy that I picked it up. And then this is where kind of my wrap up stuff is going to come in. I read like 4 books in a row that were kind of stuff I was carrying over from 2023. Also, let me know if you think I'm talking slower. I'm really trying to work on it. I've been having a lot of vocal issues this year, and that is one of my goals for 2024 is to talk slower in videos. So the next thing I picked up that was a video project for Leandra from TBR Zero is The Affair of the Mysterious Letter. I will attach a photo here. Talk about this in a video, but I just want to say I wound up giving this 4 stars. I thought it was a solid read. It was like a twist on a Sherlock Holmes story with a female Holmes and a male Watson, and he winds up kind of recounting their tales in this fantastical land, and it was just fun. I liked it. I think that the mystery was very, very fun. I think that I sometimes got a bit lost in the world just because that was not really the point of the story, but I liked the mystery. It was very like LGBTQ plus focused, and I really enjoyed it, and I will attach a photo here if I haven't already. And the next carryover book that I picked was Raiders of the Lost Heart. I will attach a photo here. That I also gave 4 stars to. It basically is an archaeological book where a main character is kind of forced to team up with her former co-worker to kind of go on this archaeological dig to kind of find out what happened to this settlement. And it is a fun time. It is very, very adventurous. There was a lot of like adventurous moments. It's a very, very quick story, very, very paced very, very well. I like the characters. Do I think it's going to be like a new favorite for me? No, but it was fun. I like the romance. I like second chance romances, and there was definitely a second chance dynamic in here with a bit hate to more tossed in, which is a personal favorite of mine. I love the setting. I love the characters. I think that it's going to be a long running series because they're going on another adventure. But I liked it. I gave it 4 stars and I was happy to read it. And then the last thing, like one of my last wrap-up reads that I read was Chalice of the Guards by Rick Riordan. This is the new book in a series, but it's kind of, I think it was basically published to kind of get people excited about the series, but I gave this 5 stars. I was so happy I decided to restart this. I was reading it with Prophecy Radio, but I have a very hard time doing slow rereads if I've never read the book, and I felt like I was so confused. So I finally just decided to restart the book and do it over like on my own timetable, and I read it in like a day. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. It was nice seeing Percy, Grover, and Annabeth back together again. It was just a very, very atmospheric read, a comfort read, as you will say. And I just thought it was fun. I thought it was great. I really, really liked it. So I'm happy that I picked it up. I'm happy that I read it. And I'm excited for book 3. This was definitely like a low stakes story. If you are looking for something that's not about saving the world, it's about Percy Jackson needing to get a letter to go into college. There is definitely hijinks and hilarity and tense moments, but it's not like a end the world saga. So if you're looking for something with a bit low stakes, I'd pick this up. But again, he can do no wrong in my eyes. So the next book that I read was my first official read of 2024. I am always a bit superstitious when I read stuff, like physically. I really want to have a good experience. So I wound up picking up, and none of these really, some of these I think counted for stuff, but I didn't really start counting until this point for Bookemon, because then I felt like, oh, these books really do count. A couple of these did, but this one counted for class systems for one of them, a heavy book with class systems. So this is the companion to A Curse so Dark and Lonely. It follows Kaylin and Jax, and they're best friends. They live in this small town, and then you have Lord Tycho is the character that kind of comes in and kind of wrecks their world. And Lord Tycho is the go-between between Prince Ren and the other princess, and Prince Lila, and there is a lot of drama in the story. It is a very, very slow burn story. Slow start. I think it also looks at the world in very different eyes, because when you read that whole trilogy, it's very much focused on the politics and how these characters are trying to do their best. But when you see the world through Jax and Kaylin eyes, I think it gets very, very complicated. There isn't very LGBTQ plus focus in the story, and I just liked it. I had a fun time with it. I love seeing political stuff through, like, you know, minor characters' eyes, or like not as powerful eyes, because it's very, very interesting. You look at the story in such a different way. But I liked it. I gave it 5 stars, and I hopefully we get this second book in the series soon. I don't think I have not heard an announcement, but I really do like it. And if you like the Curse so Dark and Lonely series and want to see the world again, I would definitely pick this one up. Sorry, my dog is barking. I apologize. She's in the cage. Okay. And then the next book that I read, sorry, I'm trying to look it up on my computer so I cannot mix up. Okay, the next one I read was also one for my chance card. It is The Baker and the Bard by Fern Hott. This is a graphic novel that I picked up at Comic-Con. It doesn't come out yet. I think it comes out in March, I think. This is a super quick, cozy fantasy read, like so quick. And I just felt like because it was so quick, I think that it has a lot of LGBTQ plus issues kind of embedded in it, but it was just so quick. I just didn't feel that connected to the characters. I read it because there were animals on the cover and I needed that for a prompt for my game. But it was just a fun time. I really, really enjoyed it. It was great. Sorry, my nose didn't come visit. What is the matter? All right, relax. Sorry, you're gonna hear her barking because she's upset about something. But I want to give it 4 stars. I don't think it was like the level of coziness that I got from Legends and Latte, but it was also super short. It was like not even like 143 pages, but it was a fun read. And if you're looking for something cozy this winter, I'd definitely pick it up whenever it comes out. And then the next book that I read was A Wild Ride. If you know anything about me, I always say I'm going to do book club books, and then I never do. But Jess from Peace Love Books, I will try to link her below if I remember, decided to do a Nora Roberts read-along, and I decided to participate. We will see how long this lasts, but I really do like going to live shows. They're so fun. So I picked up Birthright by Nora Roberts. I will attach a photo here. Was a wild read. Like, I'm gonna give it 3 stars for review, but I was captivated. I picked it up on Everland, so I didn't actually buy it, but I was captivated. It was a very interesting story, but I felt like all the pieces that were present did not like connect in the end of the day. So you basically follow a character who's an archaeologist, and she kind of gets sent to this small town to kind of see why these artifacts are there. That is honestly like a super small part of the story, and I think it was marketed a bit wrong because like that was so cool, but that was like not the part of the story. She winds up having to work on this dig with her ex-husband. They broke up, and then she winds up learning that the parents that she thought were her parents this whole time, because they also live in this town, are not her parents, and she's a part of this, you know, she's basically been stolen from her parents. And it was interesting. I just think there was a lot of elements to this story that did not really connect. It was a second chance romance. There was a lot of elements just I felt like were not connected. There was nothing that tied this story together, but I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I gave it 3 stars. So I'm definitely going to continue along with the read along and see how I feel about Nora Roberts. She's always one of those authors that I do want to read more of because she's such a staple and has so many different genre types, but that is where we are with that, and I gave that 3 stars for review. So thanks Peace Slugs for hosting the read along. I'm really excited to keep participating. And it also worked for a book club that I need to work in as well. I think what I'm going to do at the end, I'm just going to tell you guys all the prompts I finish. And the next book that I read was Hollowthorn, which was also a NetGalley arc that I got, and it is a sequel. I gave this book 4 stars, and here is a photo. This is the second book in the Ravenfall series. I did like this book. I think I liked it a little bit less than book 1, but basically this is all about Jewish mythology. It's set around Hanukkah, and the main character Anna and Colin have to go on a quest with Anna's dad to kind of figure out what's going on in the town. It was super quick. It was like 256 pages. I missed all the side characters that we met in book 1, but this was really focused on both Anna and Colin in very different ways, and them kind of like experiencing the world and kind of challenging themselves and stuff like that. The quest was fun. It was very, very focused on Jewish mythology. I liked it. I just didn't love it as much as Ravenfall, but I'm really excited for the next book in the series, and I gave it 4 stars. And then the next book that I read was actually the last physical book that I read was Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. This is a book that I had to read because it was a gift from a friend. It also has a night sky on the cover, which means it will work for one of my Pokemon prompts for the winter, which is great. I love this book. I gave it 4 stars. It is a witchy rom-com, and I just love those. I haven't read Meg Cabot for a very, very long time, so I was happy to kindly pick her up again. Thank you, Tiffany, for gifting me this. It was so, so sweet. And you basically follow a main character named Jessica who's a witch. But she's not a real witch. She's not like a powerful witch because she's not connected. And I kind of follow her in the present when she's revealed that she is the chosen one to kind of save this town. She has to team up with a girl. the whole town gave me Stars Hollow vibes to kind of save the day. So it gave me Stars Hollow vibes, it gave me witchy vibes, it gave me Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and whenever you say Chosen, I always think of that. The town reminded me of Stars Hollow, it reminded me of the Good Witch Town, and I just liked it. It was a fun read. It was told in a very interesting format because you also get the past from Jessica's point of view when she was younger, and then you get the present also from her point of view, and you get the new guy's point of view as well. But I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars, and I hope we get more books in this series. I do want to talk a little bit about my DNF because it was a book on one of my lists, and that is When We Were Them by Laura Taylor and Amy. I just was not feeling this, so I DNF'd it. There's not really anything. It was a contemporary, and it felt more friendshipy, and normally I love friendship-based stories, but I just didn't feel that connected to the characters, so that is why I DNF'd it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what have you read in the first half of the month. I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys soon for another video. Bye.